This may be among our last videos of poor Sheridan because Sheridan just continues to go downhill and as the cancer gets more aggressive. But he's always been my gaming buddy, spent a lot of time with me, so we need to honor him appropriately. Very much a beloved dog here. Couldn't have asked for a better dog. Hi folks, it's Smitty, and we still have, as noted earlier, Sheridan, the still living dog. So it's a matter of time. And of course, off to the side, we've got Black Man number 2. And off to the other side, well, we just had Ollie jump up, and we've got Petunia. So, Miss Katie, what do we have today?
Let's see what I'm holding. Gazala, 1942.
Right.
FastPlay Games.
All right, that's our friend Bill Molyneux. What's the next one?
First Battle of Alamein.
All right, and what's our next one?
And our next one is Second Battle of Alamein.
Ooh, and do I like the Desert Fox?
Yes.
I like Erwin Rommel, don't I?
Erwin Rommel.
Because what was my favorite play set as a child?
Remind me.
It was the Desert Fox one. The ones that my cousin took parts from.
Your cousin Kevin stole that from you.
Let's just say he borrowed parts without permission. So,
He stole it.
but yes, so we have 3 new games on North Africa amongst a few others from them. So, and what do we always say?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now, 3 new games came. Gazala 1942 from FastPlay Games. Next, the first Battle of Alamein. Haven't even taken them out of the wrappers yet. And the second Battle of Alamein. So you know what we're going to do here, right? We're going to unbox them or unbag them. So let's get ready to do that here, folks. All right, here we have the game map, and of course, these are boxes. And we know about the boxes, and an advanced rule for this game, you can destroy boxes. It's a fairly simple game, and you notice the terrain is one piece. One kind of terrain here. Now let's look at the unit counters. All right, and we will actually put those up here to make it easier to look at. Unit counters. Well, I like the fact that we've got these recon ones, and we got Rommel, although it's a shame they didn't put them with goggles. Colorful units, the Brits are more colorful. You've got the Indian ones. And it's interesting that you don't have any Luftwaffe here, that you've got the Italian Air Force, but no Luftwaffe. So, there are your unit counters. Here are your game board. Now let's look at the rules. The rules you're going to see are pretty darn simple. A lot of space, setup, and about the shortest historical notes you will see in any game. Because Gazala really is centered around the seizing of Tobruk in 1942. So, there you have this one. We'll talk more in a bit later. Okay, folks, you see everything you need to play. First Battle of Alamein. The black cat does not come with the game. Black man stays here. So let's take a look here. Well, of course, we've got the setup table. We have the map. And what do we have again? Well, we have not much terrain. That's not anything unusual. And we have boxes. Let's look at the counters. Well, there's certainly not many counters here, but remember, both armies are a bit on the tired side. And then we've got 4 pages of rules. And we'll scan down through the rules, so we'll rotate the camera here for you folks. I'm going to put my glasses on to make sure it looks good. Okay, tells you the components. Sequence of play, which is very simple. Optional rules. Support units. Combat. Combat is, let me show you here. If you have a 5 and a 5 attacking someone, you roll 10 dice total those against the 2. So, well, they're always going to win, right? So there's no chance of it going the other way. But that, just so you understand. But the attacker can always have 1 die re-rolled, of either player re-rolled. Then you've got the advanced rules, and I like the fact that they're in yellow. You've got the setup, and then you've got the notes. And I like the fact that they get this. It may seem strange that so many allied units start at reduced strength rather than just making them weaker. And of course, and I think this is correct, it does reflect both the brittleness and the fact that reinforcements had not reached the theater yet. So, first battle of Alamein, and of course, it's by FastPlay Games. Alright folks, we're talking to the camera again, and of course Miss Katie, you can see her heels. She walks in the back of the video, so she will not continue to walk to the kitchen. And of course, same thing for this game. Black Cat is not included, either one, because if it was Petunia, the shipping would be much more. Now let's look first. Gotta like what they're doing here. Make setup easier. It's bright, colorful, eye-catching. Will look good in a game store. Now, of course, on the map, we've got the ridges. We've got the sand dunes to the south. Of course, we've got the depression down here. Surprisingly, they didn't note that as such. And lots of desert. Notice we have no boxes this time. We have the unit counters. Notice that the British are a little more plussed up here with armor and artillery. And the Italians are, at best, so-so units. And the British are much stronger across the board. There's also an option for a hidden support track so that you don't know, as the German, which British units have got extra support this turn. And how many pages are the rules, folks? Well, you know this answer already. It's 4 turns. Correction, 4 pages. Turns, pages. Gracious. I blame it on the puppy barking. And again, I like something that VPG used to do, and that is highlighting the areas here. And of course, you know, you've got reinforcements, advanced rule, the anti-tank marker, the stand fast order by Hitler, the setup, which is of course same as this, and notice we have no historical notes really. Are the historical notes? Well, the historical notes are much more the introduction. And of course, it's interesting that they spell armor not the American way, but in the British way. Tisk, tisk, tisk. And of course, you guys hear Jasper, he's talking to Sheridan. So as always, folks, we thank you for watching. Bye. Alright folks, we've got, I'm not going to reach for my water, I forgot to get it across, so I will have to have it 1705, as we say in the Army, professional development time with Miss Katie because she didn't ensure that my water was within reach. So 17:05 after the call to the Kellers, Miss Katie will be getting professional development treatment.
Stumpy arms.
Yeah. Now, Gazala. Gazala should not have been the British disaster that it was. Had the British put the Lee Grant, well, they called them Grants. We called them Lee, but they were called the Lee Grant tanks. They put the Grant tanks in defensive mode into a more haul down position, Tobruk would probably not have fallen, and there wouldn't have been the great race for the Egyptian border. They didn't do that. Command and control issues, and the British still didn't get the thing, and this was a problem I had with the Army video, the Army of One, where you see the M1 tanks and their antennas are up in the air, which is, hi, we're coming, please kill me right now. Well, the British did a lot of that. They seem to have a cavalry tradition that ensures that you die if you leave your antennas up in the air. So that's that one. Then we go to the first battle of Alamein, where Rommel truly rolls the dice that his forces are limited, but the British are reeling. Air power is not as important in this battle, and again, it's a C2 issue for the British, but Rommel basically runs out of gas in the largest sense of the word, both in the logistical sense and with his units. Although in the one battle at Alamein, the Brits lost 141 tanks to the Deutsche Afrika Korps 3. And why is that? Well, because the Indians who advanced at nighttime, well, the British Armored Brigade commander said, well, we can't advance at night. Troops don't move at night. And so the whole thing turned up to be, probably in British terms, a cock-up. So, we're going into the fourth quarter. It looks like a tie. Who is taken over for the Brits by the second battle of Alamein? Well, for most of us Americans, we don't care much for Bernard Montgomery, do we? And he must have had some lineage to George B. McClellan, because they both had a case of the slows very often. But in Montgomery's defense, and I'm putting my eyes up to the top of my head because it's killing me to say this, is that he understood the political and social ramifications of taking many British casualties. So he husbanded his precious coin, which in particular was his British infantry. Here, Montgomery leaves Rommel break the Deutsche Afrika Korps against the rock of the British defenses, and once that's done, he goes ahead, although it takes several days for them to fully get moving, and just starts hammering relentlessly the Deutsche Afrika Korps, and particularly starts picking off the Italian infantry. So we'll see how these games go. There are 3 simple games. The whole concept behind FastPlay Games is simple, fast, easy, more like the old-time games we know. Think of them as maybe a step up from RAND games. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know yet. We'll find out when we get there. As always, thank you, folks. Bye. I'm going to give you only one book today, and it's not even on North Africa. It's Brute Force by John Ellis, which has a scathing chapter on North Africa called The North African Seesaw. And it is completely scathing. How scathing is it? Well, let's turn to page 280, where he talks about Montgomery, and he says, in one of the arguments with his tankmen, Montgomery produced a terrible motto for his future conduct of operations: no more maneuver, fight a battle. And then he goes on to talk about how Montgomery badly mismanaged the minefields for the first several days of the battle. He's probably kinder to Montgomery than he is to anyone else, but this is probably as good as any writing on North Africa for those who just want a down and dirty. Again, John Ellis, Brute Force, did a good book on Casino, but this, if you don't have this for your library, go to Amazon, steal a copy now. As always, thanks, bye.